Hello, Incarnate joining you for another video. Today I'm not going to be doing a gaming video, even though we are playing. Today we're doing something a little bit different. And the reason why we're doing something different was because I was having a beer with one of my friends in real life, and you know, as you do, I was telling him some stories. Now, he doesn't actually work the same place as me, and he was talking about weird things that had happened to him at his workplace. And some weird things that had happened to me. I thought, well, you know, guys, as you do, I had to one-up him, and I said, oh, well, I've actually got a story that's, you know, that's better than the one you told me. And so I told him, and he laughed his ass off. He thought it was hilarious. And he said, I mentioned to him that, you know, I do some videos and stuff, and I know a lot of other YouTubers do videos with, you know, crazy things that have happened to me. But he said, you've got to tell this story. You've got to tell it because it's weird. It's really weird, and it's really funny, and people might get a laugh out of it. So I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to tell you these 3 stories that happened to me. And these 3 stories all happened in the toilets, but I assure you they're not rude or vulgar in any way. Well, they're as clean as what you'll ever get out of a story when one of my stories. In any case, I work at a large company. It's not a tech company, but I work in IT, and on this day I had to go to the toilet. So, you know, as you do, I went to the toilet, and a guy came in, followed me in, and he had a plate of food in his hand, in the toilets. Now, okay, a lot of people, different cultures have different beliefs, and I'm not bagging anyone if they think it's cool to take a plate of food into the toilet, you know, but I guess some people would think that's okay, and I actually asked after, and in typical fashion, people had all different answers and different. Apparently, some cultures that's okay, and you know, maybe I don't want to appear insensitive, but it seemed odd to me that someone would take a full plate of food into the toilet. I mean, it wasn't even packaged. It was. You know, it was a plate, and there was food on it, and he was in a toilet full of guys in a urinal. Anyway, he walks in, he grabs a plate, well, he's got the plate with him, he takes a bite, and he takes a bite of his food, and then he puts the plate down, and then he goes to the toilet, and then he casually wanders out, picks the plate up again, doesn't wash his hands, takes a bite of food, and then casually wanders out. Now, I know what you're thinking. People think that that's normal. Look, I don't know about other cultures and countries. I live in Australia, but it seemed odd that someone would be going to the toilet with a plate full of food, and then on top of that, eating the food in the toilet while you're going to the toilet. It seemed odd to me. That's all I'm saying. And by itself, I probably would have just brushed it off as one of those weird things that, you know, everyone's got a weird thing that happens at work. But that wasn't the end of it. The next time I went into the toilets, this was probably about a year after this event happened. So I thought, well, you know, I forgot about it, and I thought that would be the end of it. But I went into the toilet again, and something else happened. So there was a sound coming from the toilet, and it sounded like someone was in quite a deal of discomfort. When I say discomfort, it sounded like this guy was going to die. So at the time, I know I felt a bit guilty. I thought, well, I can't leave this guy. It sounds like, you know, he could possibly be in a bit of trouble. I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait for this guy to finish going to the toilet and make sure that he's all right. So I quietly waited. I did actually call out and just quietly just to see if he was all right. No answer. And so I waited. He comes out and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. He did not look well. His face was ashen. he looked, when you go to a toilet, or when you go to a hospital and you see, someone that's obviously under pain medication, their face is really, really pale and gaunt, and they just look like they're really struggling. That's how this guy looks. So anyway, I asked him because he looked really bad. So I said, are you all right? Well, it seemed at the time to me to be a reasonable question to ask. This actually upset the guy. He got upset with the fact that I was asking him if he was all right. I think he might have been embarrassed by the fact that that someone had actually been concerned and thought that he was in some trouble. But he told me he was fine and he didn't know what I was talking about, and I should mind my own business. The guy looked, he didn't look good. He looked pretty bad. And I guess I thought, well, that's weird stuff happens. I'm just don't think anything of it. It's just weird stuff. And normally I would have chalked this up again to just weird things happen. But about 6 months after that, the strangest thing that has ever happened to me in anywhere happened. I was going to the toilet again, and there was a man in the toilet. Now that man was standing sideways. He was urinating, and he was standing sideways. He was standing sideways facing the exit of the toilet. Now, I don't understand, I don't know why someone would need to stand sideways to go to a urinal. If I had to for any reason, I probably wouldn't go to a urinal. I'd go into one of the booths. And I don't understand why he had to actually face the exit so that everyone could see what was happening. But, yeah, that happened. Now, no one was in there when this event occurred, so I can't corroborate my story, and indeed, nobody believed me when I actually related this story. I thought it was strange as hell that that would happen, but that wasn't the end of it. The funny part, the real funny part, above what obviously happened, was people's reaction to when I actually tried to explain it. Because I guess it was that odd that I was saying, look, this happened. Have you ever seen something like this before? It seemed really odd to me. I had to tell someone because it was just so strange. When you get something that's really odd and you just you have to say something. It was that sort of thing that was happening. I was like, I've got to say something. This is so messed up that I've got to tell someone. So I came back to the office where I was working, and I told everyone, look, I don't want to seem insensitive, but just this weird thing happened to me, and I've got to tell someone. Anyway, I tell him, there was a guy and he was standing sideways and he was facing me and going to the toilet. People got pissed. People thought I was the most insensitive, horrible person ever to have mentioned it and to reacted the way that I did. There was every single possible explanation for why a human being would need to stand on that angle that you could ever imagine. And it ranged from religious reasons to medical reasons. People surmised that he had some sort of urinary tract infection, that he had some sort of problem with his blockage. I won't be vulgar, but you imagine every single possible excuse for why someone would need to do that. It was given. And apparently I was the most insensitive, horrible person for just having relayed that story and reacted with anything other than complete sympathy for this man's perceived plight. So yeah, that happened. and it was strange. And to this day, I have no explanation for why it happened the way it did. I certainly had a good laugh out of it, but I guess yeah, you got to ask yourself sometimes. When people say that they've got the weirdest story, I can always respond with, well, you never met Sideways Man. And when you go to the toilet, it's not something that's going to traumatize you for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that it did, but it certainly gave me a very memorable story to relay to you. So yeah, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, look, I know people are going to say I made it up, and I don't have any proof. I mean, how the hell do you prove something like that? But what I will say is that it was a very funny and strange occurrence, and I hope that every time I go to the toilet, I certainly am very careful when I go to the toilet now. I hope that I never ever see anything like like that again. But yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed the story. Look, I can't make a series out of this, obviously. I don't get strange shit like that happening every day, and that's definitely the strangest thing that's happened to me. But yeah, I'm just forwarding it on because apparently it's funny. I can have a laugh now, but it wasn't funny at the time. In any case, yeah, if you like this video, I'm gonna go back to my regular videos next week. And look, I don't really care if this gets no subs. I think I just wanted to make a video about this because my mate said that it'd be a bit of a laugh, be a bit funny. And look, I've got some other funny stories, but definitely nothing near as crazy as that particular event. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it again. I'll see you for my next video. Skill Incarnate out.